But I mean, I think it's a really sort of the power that you have with young people and the sort of relationship that you have. A lot of it, I mean, part of it is social media, but I mean, it existed before there was Twitter.
Yeah, I think the thing a lot of people respond to, which again is I'm not trying to sell anybody anything in a way. I don't. I think there's a sense of, I've always been very clear, this is who I am, these are the flaws, that didn't go so well. In the show, if something doesn't work, I'm the first one on the show to tell you it didn't work.
Right.
And maybe to go on at length about how it didn't work. There's not an attempt to convince people and market to them. I think young people are extremely sensitive to being marketed to or conned or sold on something. They're they've always been intelligent. They're hyper intelligent about someone older than them trying to convince them of something. So rule number one is just be yourself. And that's actually the first thing when I got the late night show. And I bring them up now because they just did this great documentary about Johnny Carson. But one of the first people I talked to was Johnny Carson. He said, just be yourself. He said, it's the only way it can work. He didn't say it would work because he's being honest. He didn't know me. He thought you might be yourself and it would be terrible. But he said, be yourself. It's the only way. And there's an honesty to that. And I do think that that's a little bit timeless. I think if you, when you're putting on a persona, there's a lot of people in television that have a persona that is almost the exact opposite of who they really are. And again, I'm not going to name names, but there are people that are just pushing on you this idea that they're really happy and they're great and they're super nice, and they're not. And you experience that and you think, what I'm always been interested in is the shortest amount of distance between who I really am and what people see.
Right.
And I think it's impossible to have people see the exact real you, and they probably shouldn't, but this is pretty close. And I think there's a sense there that maybe people think, at least he's being honest. And that show wasn't great, and that didn't go that well, but he sort of made fun of himself and was honest about the fact that it didn't go well. And everything that happened 2 years ago, whatever anybody thought of it, it was honest. This is what happened, and this is how I reacted day to day to day, and this is where I went. And I think there's a reaction to that. So I think there's something about not trying to project something fake to people.
Well, what did you